ISRO Space Trips for Human will cheaper than taxi rides. Indian Space Research Organisation ISRO, the space agency funded by the Government of India, has added yet another feather in its cap. ISRO will launch paid space rides which will have passengers charged $0.1, 7 rupees, per kilometer rate. It has announced launch of paid space trips in which ISRO claims the rides will be cheaper than taxi. Indian Space Research Organisation, the premier space research agency, was recently in the news for launching 104 satellites at one go. ISRO had recently launched the Mangalyaan, which reached Mars orbit after travelling 650 million kilometres. The Indian Prime Minister had calculated the cost of reaching Mars at 7 rupees per kilometre. This and many other reports on its cost advantage has made ISRO very proud. The announcement of space rides at rates cheaper than taxi rides. An average Indian quite often dreams of travelling by air. The Indian government has set the stakes high. To match the rates offered by ISRO, other spacefaring nations are expected to launch similar rides. American and European space agencies feel the heat. A NASA scientist and governments across the world, in order to assuage the feelings of hurt among their space scientists, have come up with competing schemes. Elon Musk, the space entrepreneur, refused to react to this news when contacted by this news site. Analysts, however, predict that his reusable launch vehicles might not be able to offer a cheaper rate than ISRO. The commercial arm of ISRO, called Antrix, has seen its revenues grow by leaps and bounds. The international space launch market sees at least 75 to 130 launches per year, with every launch costing about $75 million per satellite. SpaceX had vowed to reduce orbital launch costs to as low as $1,000 per pound. ISRO orbital launches cost about 2 lakh rupees per kilogram. For a space traveler of average weight with all life support systems might cost about 12 crore rupees, or just $2 million. Recent space travelers, however, have paid rates ranging from $30 to $40 million for about 8 to 11 days of orbital space travel. The major objective of this program is to develop the fully autonomous 3-ton ISRO orbital vehicle spaceship to carry a 2-member crew to orbit and safely return to Earth after a mission duration of a few orbits to 2 days. The extendable version of the spaceship will allow flights up to 7 days, rendezvous and docking capability with space stations or with an orbital platform. ISRO plans to use for off-spaceship the GSLV Mk2 launcher. Mark II is geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle 2 launcher with an indigenous cryogenic engine. About 16 minutes after liftoff from the Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota, the rocket will inject the orbital vehicle into an orbit 300 km to 400 km from Earth. The capsule would return for a splashdown in the Bay of Bengal. The Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, will set up an Vyomanaut, astronaut, training center in Bengaluru by 2012, to prepare personnel both for first orbital flights aboard and off, and for future manned moon missions after 2020. In October 7, 2016, Vikram Sarabhai Space Center Director K. Shivan stated that ISRO is gearing up to conduct a critical crew bailout test or pad aboard to see how fast and effectively the crew module of an intended space mission could punch out from the spacecraft safely in the event of an emergency. Speaking on space technology at Indian Science Congress, Mr. S. Somanath, Director, Liquid Propulsion Systems Center, LPSC, Kerala, said GSLV-3 will be designed to hoist a 10-ton crew module into low Earth orbit. Initially, the modules will be test-flown without a crew, preceded by tests to human rate the launch vehicle or make sure that it is safe for human flight into space by year 2024. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.